Hi, my name is Carolyn and I work as a nurse paralegal. My major area of work is in the medical malpractice realm, and we're going to talk about what my duties are. I answer the phone, I route calls, I talk to clients, I talk to expert witnesses, attorneys, judges, secretaries, so there's a lot of phone work involved. I also have the opportunity to draft a lot of pleadings, and that would be the discovery, the complaints, answers, notices of intent, interrogatories, requests for production, for our attorney to review. Once she reviews, I usually proofread and we put in final form. I also do a lot of that with correspondence as well. One of the major things that I get to do is organization of large volumes of paperwork, whether it be medical records, depositions, items for damages such as medical bills, collection notices, funeral bills, and I organize that into a way that our attorney can use those effectively. We have thousands and thousands of pages of records that we try to knock down into maybe a 100-page document so that she can get the information she needs quickly. So data management is important. I have the opportunity to talk to our expert witnesses and get to hear their views on whether or not the standard of care has been broken for our clients, and a lot of information that goes along with that. I search for experts from every field, from plumbing, safety, to all sorts of doctors, every doctor that you can imagine. I get to, one of my favorite parts of the job is I get to create day in the life videos where I get to follow the client around and video what they do, and I get to look at their home videos for the past umpteen million years and create a profile of them so that the jury can see what that client was like before and after they were injured. There's a lot of photo editing involved in that, some PowerPoint knowledge goes along with that, and some video manipulation that I still have to have help with, but I get to play with and enjoy as well. I do a lot of medical research. I have a medical research database. I also have an expert research database. I have a legal research database and do a lot of research on Westlaw, LexisNexis, and actually in our library across the street, books are still a wonderful thing. I guess, and I think that's about a general encompassment of everything that I do on a daily basis. I don't get to do everything every day, but that's what I get to do generally within a week. The minimum requirements for a paralegal are on-the-job training. You can, at the present time, you can go work for an attorney and start at the bottom and work your way up and finally attain the title of legal assistant or paralegal depending on your state. Presently, there's a trend across the United States where it's going to be required that you have mandatory education and that you also are required to have continuing education to be considered a paralegal. There are several states that have already enacted this legislation and several states that are looking to enacting similar legislation. So education is going to be a key component in being able to be a legal assistant or a paralegal in the future. You need to check with your state to see what the requirements are for those degrees. I originally had a paralegal degree and decided to go to nursing school and received a nursing education and have combined my nursing education along with my paralegal degree and work in the field of medical malpractice at the firm that I work for, and so I never quit getting an education. I would suggest to all who are considering any type of work that they continue to get an education no matter what. Most of your licensure requirements are going to require that each renewal cycle you have to have some type of continuing education, and ethics is one of the major things that you would have to learn about. In the paralegal profession, it's technology is just overwhelmingly driven the change in the paralegal ways of work. So I suggest to everyone that they stay on top of all sorts of technology, learning how to use all those cute little gadgets such as your smartphones, your iPads, all the Microsoft products, and the various and sundry digital products that are out there to be used. Knowledge is power in every amount of education and job field. In terms of what to expect for your education, expect a lot of reading, writing, and research. You should become very happy with the library. It'll be your new home. Although you can, LexisNexis and Westlaw are now providing students with their own IDs so that they can do some of their research at home. But many students still want to do it at the library because they have the help available. I never expected math to play a part in my paralegal studies, but I hope you learn and like algebras and statistics because that'll be a part of your paralegal studies. One of the best parts about being a paralegal is actually getting to meet your client and getting involved in their lives. It's very gratifying to know that your client has had an issue that you were able to help them overcome, whether it be through a settlement, mediation, or a trial, that you've helped them put something that's bad behind them and move on to the next step of their life. Being a paralegal involves a lot of client contact along with a lot of contact with the judges and the secretaries and other people, and if you are a people person, it would be a wonderful job for you to do. The worst part about being a paralegal for me is having to be the bearer of bad news. In the state that I work in, there are many statutory requirements that you cannot overcome to file a case, and it's very sad to have to tell someone that they have no case because the statutory limits are there and the state statutes say there's nothing that can be done. At that point, you have to listen to them and let them have the opportunity to vent their frustrations, and again, it's very sad to not be able to help them. Another thing is that sometimes it's very difficult to manage all those documents and being able to put your finger on the right thing at the right time. You have to be able to deal with people who are not happy, because you cannot make everyone happy all the time, and sometimes that includes your attorneys and or other attorneys in the area. So you have to have a little bit of a psychology degree there and be able to soothe some savage souls. So that part of the job is not necessarily the best part. My best advice for you, if you're considering being a paralegal, you may want to look at a couple of different things. If you enjoy being in the indoor environment, working with computers and people and large volumes of documents, this is the job for you. You can create a wonderful environment working with your co-workers and your clients to improve their lives and or their status, so to speak, so that they may overcome their issues. My best advice to you is to try to have the opportunity to do an internship, paid or non-paid, through your college, high school, or university prior to becoming a paralegal, so that you actually have the experience to know whether or not you want to spend your whole life doing this. My final word of advice would be that technology. It's so important to learn about all the new technology that's out there and available, and to have a good command on how to use all the products: Word, Excel, PowerPoint, digital imaging, Adobe. All those come into play here in the law office, and they can help you learn to work the other software that you will become very accustomed with working. Again, technology is important, and don't ever forget to continue your education as well.